Hi everyone, Ryan here from Fight Game Analysis, and today we're going to be taking a first look at Yordenis Ugas versus Errol Spence. Before we jump into that, if you've been enjoying the content, please go ahead and click on the like button and also subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate your support. Alright, so Yordenis Ugas is just coming off a major victory, biggest one of his career, over Manny Pacquiao. He went out there and absolutely earned it. Dominated the action. I don't want to say exactly from start to finish. He was definitely looking, he had his spots early in the fight, but I gave the majority of the first rounds to Pacquiao. But man, he came on strong in those middle and late rounds and closed the show. Looked good with the jab. Understood how to keep his distance, use that jab. A lot of times, I think if he would have thrown the straight right hand, may have got blocked by Pacquiao. Pacquiao may have been able to get the way out of it. He was using that jab to blind Pacquiao, score some points, sweeping the right hand around the outside and landing it around the back of the glove. Countering hard to the body. Pacquiao was having trouble finding his distance. His counter punches were coming up short. He was trying to land the left hand. Ugas was finding ways to get his counter punches off. Showing Pacquiao different looks. Coming and feinting when he was coming in. Working long at distance behind the jab and the right hand. Staying in the pocket. Countering. Backing up. Then coming in and closing the distance. Towards the end of the fight, Pacquiao was actually backing up a little bit, giving ground. And Ugas was applying consistent pressure. Man, he looked good in that fight. He was absolutely prepared, 100% physically and mentally, and it showed. So now the question, I'll come in a big victory like that, just a huge victory over Manny Pacquiao. The question for Ugas is what's next? And I think it's very logical to look and think that the next thing for him is going to be Errol Spence. He was the guy stepping in on late notice for Errol Spence for this fight. Errol Spence is going to be coming off their surgery. He's going to be looking for a big one. I think both of them are going to be interested in it. I think it's going to be huge. So if we take a look at it, how exactly is it going to look? Is it going to match up? Yordenis Ugas, Errol Spence. Well, here's the thing. Yordenis Ugas, that was the best he's ever looked. He's been consistently getting better. He's been working with that new trainer, Ismail Salas, who's been consistently improving things with him, and they just all came to a head. They all formulated in the best showing yet when he went out there against Manny Pacquiao. Would those things have shown just as well? Would they have looked as good against the Manny Pacquiao 10 years ago, from 2010, from 2011, the one who beat Cotto, the one who beat even Antonio Margarito or Oscar De La Hoya or any of these other guys? Well, no, that would have been a much different Manny Pacquiao with the different footwork and everything else. But these skills, Ugas has these skills. That jab was there with no tell. It came out quick. It came out straight. He kept shooting the right hand in different ways. He went to the body well. All those things existed. But how are they going to match up against Spence? Well, first things first, you got to remember, he's not going to have that reach advantage that he had. He had a significant reach advantage against Manny Pacquiao and a height advantage. He's not going to have either one of those things against Errol Spence. And Errol Spence has a jab of his own that Ugas is going to have to deal with. Errol Spence doesn't have shot legs. He's a young fighter, man. He is strong. He's full of energy. He comes in there. He's going to be able to go hard the whole time. When he wants to counter, he's going to be able to do it. I mentioned Ugas goes to the body well. I don't know if he goes to the body as good as Spence does. Man, Spence has some ferocious body punching. You can go in there, you can talk to any of his past opponents. They're going to tell you how good Errol Spence goes to the body. He does it early, he does it often. That's going to make a guy tuck his elbows in, man. That's going to make a guy keep his hands in his pockets just a little bit more frequently because he doesn't like getting it to the body. And the other thing is, nobody walks Errol Spence down. The guy that probably was in his face the most, applying the most pressure, would have to go with Sean Porter. Errol Spence still, for the most part, did not back up. That's just not who he is. He's not going to give that ground. Is Ugas going to be able to back Errol Spence up? No, not going to happen. Is he going to be able to fight going backwards? That's the question, because Spence is going to back him up. And I don't think Ugas is going to look nearly as good backing up. It's going to be hard to use try to keep that jab long. It's going to be hard to try to hide that right hand and sweep it in and get your timing and everything when you're not the one controlling the distance, when you're not the one controlling the pace of the fight. And I really don't think Ugas is going to be able to control either of those things against Spence. I think we're going to see this like we've seen so many of the other fights with Spence. He's going to get in there. He's going to be able to work behind that jab. He's going to frame him up well. He's going to be able to apply that consistent pressure. He's going to go to the body. I think, Ugas is very good, but my first thoughts on this fight before I really start to break it down is that Spence is going to be able to get to him. As good as Ugas looked, as good as the things that he was able to do against Manny aren't the same things that he's going to be able to do against Spence. Man, Spence is a beast. And the things that he does when he gets in there a lot of fighters just don't look quite the same. And it's because of what he brings to the table. That counter right hook that he has as a beast it's a good one, man. I'll tell you what, this is going to be a very good fight. Very interested in seeing it. The only other one that I can think about that I would want to see more than this off the top of my head with Spence in would be Spence versus Crawford. It was funny. Terrence Crawford sent out a tweet after the fight talking about how Spence was going to be mad now that obviously he's not going to get the Manny Pacquiao fight, and that one would have been much bigger. But hey, it is what it is. Let me know what you guys think. How's this matchup between Ugas and Spence going to look? And who's going to be able to come away with the victory?